Bengal Native Infantry. The regiments of Bengal Native Infantry, alongside the regiments of Bengal European Infantry, were the regular infantry components of the East India Company's Bengal Army from the raising of the first native battalion in 1757 to the passing into law of the Government of India Act 1858 as a direct. At this latter point, control of the East India Company's Bengal Presidency passed to the British government. The first locally recruited battalion was raised by the East India Company in 1757, and by the start of 1857 there were 74 regiments of Bengal Native Infantry in the Bengal Army. Following the Mutiny, the Presidency armies came under the direct control of the United Kingdom government. The title Bengal Native Infantry fell out of use in 1885, and the Bengal Infantry regiments ceased to exist when the three separate Presidency armies were absorbed into the British Indian Army in 1903. There are units currently serving in the armies of India, Pakistan, and the United Kingdom who can trace their lineage directly to units of the Bengal Native Infantry, for example the Jat Regiment in the Indian Army, the Royal Gurkha Rifles in the British Army and 6th Battalion, the Punjab Regiment in the Army of Pakistan. Numbering of regiments, unit designations and nomenclature. The first locally recruited unit of the East India Company's forces in Bengal, raised in 1757 and present at the Battle of Plassey, was known as the Galleys Battalion. Named the Bengal Native Infantry regiments underwent frequent changes of numbering during their existence, with the numbers assigned following a reorganisation bearing little or no connection to the regiments that held the pre-existing numbers. The traditional formation of British and Presidency armies regiments was by a hierarchy in which the first regiment was the oldest and the highest number was given to the youngest. In 1764, however, the Bengal Native Infantry regiments were renumbered in the order of the individual seniority of their commanding officers. The regiments were reorganized and renumbered or renamed twice in 1861, in 1864, again in 1885, and finally in 1903 the Bengal Army was absorbed into the British Indian Army and the Bengal Infantry ceased to exist. The inclusion of the word native in the titles of the Bengal Native Infantry regiments and throughout the Bengal, Bombay, and Madras armies indicated that the troops were locally recruited in India or neighboring areas, in contrast with the Bengal European Infantry, which recruited personnel in the United Kingdom. In 1885, the word native was dropped from the titles of all military units in the Bengal Army. Recruitment and demographics. The 1st Brahmins was the 1st Infantry Regiment of the British Indian Army. It was raised at Oud by Captain T. Naylor in 1776. Despite its name, the Bengal Army mostly recruited upper caste elements, Brahmins, Rajputs, and Bhumihars from Awadh and Bihar. Bengal Native Infantry regiments typically consisted of 800 privates, sepoys, 120 non-commissioned officers, havildars and naiks, 20 native commissioned officers, subeddars and jamaddars, 2 British sergeants and 26 British commissioned officers. Regiments were commanded by a lieutenant colonel and were divided into 10 companies, each assigned 2 British officers and 2 native officers. Each regiment was assigned an adjutant, an interpreter, and a quartermaster. The majority of recruits for the Bengal Native Infantry in the years leading up to the mutiny were from the districts of Bengal, Awadh, and the surrounding areas, around 3/4 of the total numbers. Mutinying regiments officially ceased to exist following the mutiny, and in 1861 the 12 surviving Bengal Native Infantry regiments, units that did not mutiny, units that were disarmed and later considered to be free of mutineers, or units that were disbanded peacefully and were later reformed, were joined by a mix of hastily raised units, for example. In addition, soldiers who did not mutiny when the rest of their regiment did so joined units, such as the Lucknow Regiment or the Loyal Purbaya Regiment. Premise 1857 List of Bengal Native Infantry regiments. The mutiny and its aftermath. Post-Minus 1861, List of Bengal Native Infantry Regiments. Operational history and legacy. Operational history. The Bengal Native Infantry has participated in major battles and wars that include, among others, the following engagements: Battle of Plassey, Third Carnatic War, First Anglo-Mysore War, Second Anglo-Mysore War, Third Anglo-Mysore War, First Anglo-Maratha War, Kotiote War, Fourth Anglo-Mysore War, Second Anglo-Maratha War, Invasion of Java, Anglo-Nepalese War, Third Anglo-Maratha War, First Anglo-Burmese War, First Opium War, First Anglo-Afghan War, First Anglo-Sikh War, Second Anglo-Sikh War, Second Anglo-Burmese War, Indian Mutiny, Second Opium War, Second Anglo-Afghan War, Suakin Expedition, Third Anglo-Burmese War. Legacy. The Bengal Army was absorbed into the British Indian Army in 1903, with a large number of infantry units passing into the newly organized force. As shown by the following examples, there are a number of military units active today that can trace their lineage directly to regiments of Bengal Native Infantry in the armies of India, Pakistan, and the United Kingdom. In many cases, these units maintain the traditions and retain the battle honors of their antecedent regiments. India. The Jat Regiment traces its lineage back to 1795 to an East India Company unit known as the Calcutta Native Militia, which, after a series of name changes, became the 18th Regiment of Bengal Native Infantry in 1861. The Jat Regiment also traces its lineage to the Preminis 1857 43rd. The regiment retains the battle honors of its antecedent units. The Sikh Regiment traces its lineage back to the Post-Minus 1861 14th, 15th, and 45th Regiments of Bengal Native Infantry, among other units. The regiment retains the battle honors and some traditions of its antecedent units. Pakistan. 6th Battalion. The Punjab Regiment directly traces its lineage to the Post-Minus 1861 20th Regiment of Bengal Native Infantry. The Punjab Regiment does not retain any battle honors gained before Pakistan's independence. United Kingdom. The Royal Gurkha Rifles traces its lineage to the Post-Minus 1861 42nd and 43rd Regiments of Bengal Native Infantry, among other units. The Royal Gurkha Rifles retains the battle honors and traditions of its antecedent units.